Hi everyone, welcome to Border Tanks with StewiejP. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 7 Swedish medium tank, the Leo, being driven today by AppleBoomX from Crazy Clan. AppleBoomX is no stranger to this channel and he is on Fisherman's Bay, lucky enough to be top tier in the Tier 7 Swedish medium tank. And this is a tank that I didn't mind playing myself, and it's a little bit different, this tank. It's got a low profile, looks a little bit like a light tank to me, and of course it's got a pretty punchy gun. The gun will do up to 300 average damage with standard rounds, 155mm of penetration, 194mm with APCR, which is the standard rounds. You can see AppleBoomX is running binoculars as a equipment on his Leo, and of course the Leo, it's reasonably quick, comparable, probably almost comparable to the Comet. It's a bit of a, it zips around the map pretty well. Of course, it's got no armour whatsoever, so you shouldn't rely on its armour to do any damage, as he shoots away a house to try and get some shots into the side of the Tier 7 premium Russian tank. By the looks of it, the IS-2 gets him for 298 hit points of damage, pulls back behind the half wreck of that house and waits for that gun to reload. It hasn't got, it's one of those guns that doesn't have a massive amount of doesn't have a quick reload, but 300 alpha damage isn't too bad at all for a medium tank at Tier 7, as he picked up his first kill of the game, taking out the Tier 5 Russian heavy tank, the KV-1, who was probably regretting getting into a Tier 7 game. But AppleBoomX is pretty happy being in a Tier 7 game in this Swedish medium tank, as he looks at the back of the Churchill, takes him down to half health, takes half his health away in one shot. Of course, these Tier 5 heavy tanks just proving to be easy damage and easy money for AppleBoomX. One zip to score. Apple's the only one with the kill. The VK takes a kill on the other side of the map as he looks at the KV-85. Brings him down to a one shot as well. Doesn't appear to get lit. Does get lit now, so he pulls back just a little bit. And he's looking at some cheeky side shots into these heavy tanks that are pushing quite aggressively. Another beautiful shot into the KV-85. Unlucky not to get the kill as he leaves the Tier 6 Soviet heavy tank on 1 health. 4-1 to score now as AppleBoomX starts focusing on the IS, the standard Tier 7 tank. He's already taken out the premium Tier 7 heavy tank. Of course, there's two IS-2s in the game, the Chinese and the premium Russian heavy tank. Premium Russian heavy tank stands out because it's got that big cross on the top of its turret, and threaded that shell through the needle to pick up another shot on the Tier 7 Russian heavy tank. 5-2 to score now. AppleBoomX has already picked up over 2,000 hit points of damage as he fires clutch and picks up his second kill on the top tier heavy tank, the IS. A lot of ISs in this game. 2 ISs on Apple's side, and of course there was 3 if you include the premium tank on the enemy side, as he picks up the kill on the IKV-103 tank destroyer, the Swedish tank destroyer, as he's looking around the corner. That T-34 is going to be pretty easily lighting AppleBoomX, but that IKV-65-2 has got no chance with his side to AppleBoomX's big Leo gun with the 300 alpha damage. He picks up kill number 4 on Fisherman's Bay, taking the Tier 6 tank destroyer out of the game, and he'll be loving the sight of that T-25-2, the big Tier 7 American tank destroyer. Takes it down to 129. He'll be hoping for kill number 5. He's still tracked. Looks like he's going to pick it up. He does. I like it. Interesting how he zooms out after he fires, but before the tank dies. Makes it look pretty exciting if you ask me. Now AppleBoomX focusing on the enemy Leo, who's on full health on 1100 hit points, and the T-34, who only a low health tank, but he picks up the top gun, 6 kills, 2,955 hit points of damage, and he'll be looking for some more on that Leo, who looks like he's focusing elsewhere. Doesn't manage to land the shot on the top tier medium tank, but his teammates are helping him now. They're all starting to move forward, looking for the T-34-85, who hasn't yet been spotted in this game. And AppleBoomX trying to flank around behind this Leo, who he'll be hoping that Leo is aiming at the T-34-1. But looks like he might be aiming his way, so he gets a shot into the turret of the Swedish medium tank, pulls back so he can't get another shot in, and this will be nice, this shot, if it lands. It does. 335 damage for that shot, and now everyone's just going to swarm on this poor bloke. Looks like he's fired. AppleBoomX is going to have to move a bit closer to pick up the kill. He does. Picks up kill number 7 on Fisherman's Bay. And finally, that T-3485 got spotted by the Saint Emile by the looks of it, down south, as AppleBoomX takes a shot into his turret. But that little Tier 6 Russian medium tank is going to be pretty damn nervous indeed. 7 kills for AppleBoomX so far, 3,797 hit points of damage. Looking like an epic game. That T-3485 still on full health, which AppleBoomX will be happy about, because that means there's 720 hit points up for grabs on the Soviet medium tank. That takes his damage count above 4,000. He's got to be happy with that in a Tier 7 game. And now he's looking for the final kill shot on that T-3485. Auto aim, zooms out again, zooms in. He can afford to be shot. He might as well just head straight for him, but he doesn't want to lose too much health. Looks like T-3485 was aiming elsewhere, and AppleBoomX says, yep, now's the time. Pick up kill number 8 on Fisherman's Bay for an absolute ripper of a game featuring AppleBoomX from Crazy Clan. As we have a very quick look at the post-game battle results, it won't be a surprise to anybody, but that's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for doing all that damage. A Bruiser and a Fire for effect. The Radley Walters medal for picking up those 8 kills, as well as the high caliber. And of course the Top Gun. Look at all those tanks that he spotted, damaged and destroyed. It was an absolute ripper from AppleBoomX from Crazy Clan in his Leo. 4,272 hit points of damage, 8 kills, 1486 base experience, and he well and truly carried that one. Looking at the other scores, there was a few passengers in that game. 3 donuts down the bottom. Only 2 other players scored more than 1,000 hit points of damage on AppleBoomX's team, but AppleBoomX did the carrying for them. 4,272 hit points of damage. Profitable game too. I wasn't aware of him firing any premium ammunition, but nearly 50,000 credits bottom line with a premium account. 20 shots fired, 18 hit, and they all did damage, and that was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. As we move on to the second game in this double shot of Tier 7 Swedish action on World of Tanks with stewiejp. This is Ophelion 2112 from L2K Clan. Can't really say that I've ever heard of that clan, but Ophelion is loving his Leo tank as well. Again, top tier on airfield. And I'm just going to make that mini-map a bit bigger so that my struggling eyes can keep one eye on the mini-map. Okay, in this battle, Ophelion, like I said, top tier, only 3 Tier 7 tanks on each team. And looking at all those togs, 4 togs on the enemy side, 5 togs on Ophelion's side. None of them platooned. This is telling me that not so long ago on the Asian server there was some kind of promotion where you could rent a tog, I think. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay much attention when it happened because I've already got one in the garage, so it didn't really affect me. But there was some kind of promotion with rental tanks from memory where you might have got a tog. I find it very hard to believe that under normal matchmaking situations there would be 9 togs in one game. But anyway, there's 4 on the enemy side and there's 5 on Ophelion's side, and that goes to show the strength of the big Tier 6 British tank. He doesn't manage to penetrate his first shot into the side of the tog, but that Dickermax will look pretty good. Picks him up for 324 hit points of damage. Ophelion running the same gun as AppleBoomX was in the Leo. I did do a replay a couple of months ago featuring Napalmer from Crazy Clan, and he went for the smaller gun, which I think has a little bit more damage per minute, but obviously less alpha and a faster rate of fire. Ophelion looking for the kill shot on the Dickermax. If he aims it well, he'll get this. He picks up his first kill of the game. 2-1 is the score, as the Dickermax gets sent back to the garage. Ophelion peeking around now onto the E75. Tracks the E75, doesn't manage to pick up any damage on him, and that tier 6 medium tank is really going to be struggling. Ophelion does the right thing, shoots, tracks and damage the E25 on the other side, but with a quick tap of his repair kit he gets the hell out of dodge. A lot of comments in the chat about the togs, and that just goes to show that it must have been some kind of promotion featuring the tier 6 British heavy tank. It can be a fun tank to play, but of course it's slow as anything. 3-5 the score now, so Ophelion now will be thinking he's really got to do something to try and turn this game around. He's picked up a bit of damage, he finds a tog, the tog shoots and misses, but Ophelion doesn't miss with that very, very handy Swedish gun. Picks up another 321 damage into the tog, and he'll be pretty confident. He's only going to take 142 damage from the tier 6 British heavy tank, because the tog doesn't have a big alpha gun, but it does have a reasonably good rate of fire. Takes another shell, but gives him 300 in return. He's still got 804 hit points of damage. Score 4-6. So he's happy to get shot to pick up another kill, and even the scoreboard up for his team. He's alone there with 2 togs, and at least one of those togs looks like he is struggling, and that AC4 Aussie tier 6 tank looks like he's going to be Ophelion's next victim. Unlucky not to get the kill, leaves him on 10 hit points. 8-7 the score now, as he continues to play in the area where the heavy tanks normally go. Cops a shot from the unspotted Stug tier 5 German tank destroyer, so he moves into a position where he can no longer shoot him, and he wants to pick up some damage on, it looks like, a tier 7 premium German tank destroyer, the Steyr Waffenträger. Aiming that way, looking at the minimap, you can see that Ophelion's aiming towards that Steyr Waffenträger, but 2 togs and a Hellcat last spotted down here. That would be where people want to try and kill him. I'm not sure if he's going to have shots back there. One thing for sure, the top tier KV3 certainly not going to have shots from back here. He's content just to snipe like a bitch back there at on airfield. 10-8 the score now. Ophelion clearly thinks now's the time to get a little bit more aggressive. He'll be looking at that tog in the south, who's on 935 hit points. Looks like that those 2 togs are giving a little bit of pain to the Hellcat. Of course, that Hellcat's got a pretty handy gun, but against 2 heavy tanks is going to be in a little bit of strife. The Hellcat gets taken out by one of the togs, and Ophelion puts a shot into the big tier 6 premium heavy tank. A quick mouthful of coffee. 10-9 the score now. Ophelion clearly in the box seat to try and carry this game. That KV3 still hasn't moved too far from the circle. Takes that tog down to a one-shot, 244 hit points. And it looks like the tog the tog is starting to aim towards Ophelion. 2-1-1-2. Scores 10 apiece as one of the other togs gets taken out. 10-11 now. 11 all. It's all happening. That KV3 finally picks up a kill. Sniping like a tank destroyer. 462 health that final tog is on. And it's World of Togs here. World of Togs with stewiejp. Get on board. 11-12 the score. 3,317 hit points of damage for Ophelion. 2-1-1-2 from L2K Clan. And he'll be hoping for the kill on the tog. He bounces a shot as well, so he keeps his 402 hit points of health. 3,430 damage. Only 2 versus 3 now. The KV3 staying back at the base. Content to pretend he's a tank destroyer. He's only got one standard round left. And luckily for Ophelion, all 3 of these tanks don't have a massive amount of armour, but I mean, he's got APCR if he needs it. Maybe he'll kill all 3 with 1 round. How good would that be? 12-13 the score. 3,430 hit points of damage. He's blocked 1 shot, a little bit of assisted, and that KV3 is clearly not about to help. He's on half health, which is better than Ophelion's on, but he clearly doesn't want to try and use his Russian armour. And as one of the dead togs correctly observes in the chat, that the KV3 is just sniping like a bitch. 3 kills for Ophelion, nearly 3,500 hit points of damage, and clearly he's done all the work in this game. One of the togs did pick up 3 kills, one of the other ones picked up 1. As did 2 of the togs on the enemy side. How's that? A little bit of cat and mouse going on. It's a medium and a heavy versus 3 tank destroyers. That Stug hasn't yet been spotted in this game, so unless he's fallen off a cliff, he'll still be on full health. The Hellcat, I think, was on reasonably low health as Ophelion moves back to a position where I guess he thinks that if he goes back around this way, the KV3 can support. So instead of just complaining like I have been about the KV3 sniping like a bitch at the back of the map, Ophelion's probably thinking, well, if I move into a position where the KV3 can snipe from, even though it's not the right thing to do in a top tier Russian heavy tank, then Ophelion doing the right thing, in my opinion. Spots the Stug, who's only on 175 health, so somebody must have blind shotted him at one point. He picks up the kill on the Stug, and he also picks up some assisted damage as the KV3 picks up the kill on the Hellcat. So now it's 2 versus 1. Ophelion on 4 kills, 3605 damage, and of course the KV3 now starting to move. And whether they're going to move together or not, I'm not sure. Looks like the KV3 is going towards the water. Of course, the Stewiejp last spotted on the flag, and of course on airfield, you know, the tank destroyers often sit around here, but sometimes they sit up here. But there he is. There he's been lit. He's only on 193 health, which is a one shot for the Leo, and it looks like the German tank destroyer aiming totally the wrong way as Ophelion picks up his 5th kill and carries the game on airfield. As we have another quick look at the post-game battle results, it's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, Bruiser Medal, Duelist Medal, Fighter, Fire for Effect, and of course the High Caliber. Unlucky not to get the Top Gun. There was a tank early on that he left on 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 hit points, but he won't be upset about this result at all. 3,907 hit points of damage, 5 kills, 1342 base experience. He fired 17 shots. They all hit, 15 did damage. And that was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. Not a bad profit either, 40,623 credits, bottom line with a premium account. So there you go, 2 Ace Tanker Mastery Badges featuring the Tier 7 Swedish medium tank, the Leo, with the gun that does 300 odd average damage. Thanks for the replays, lads. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and see you all next time.